Hey all, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Take10 podcast. I am so glad that you are here. I can't wait to jump in and to cover our topic tonight. But just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a life update. In my last episode, I mentioned that I was on the road when I had recorded that episode because I was in the process of starting a new job, which I started on Monday. And it has been a lot of onboarding and getting to know a new company, new culture, new processes, all of that good stuff. New city. But it has been fantastic. I was not in a great spot at my prior employer, and I was down, and it was impacting my life. And nothing against the employer, but to be in a new spot doing something that I know that I'll enjoy doing more is just so much of a relief and a weight that has been lifted off of my shoulders. And so very glad for that. And for this week, it was good. Met some cool people, learned some cool stuff, and am excited to continue that journey. But tonight is not about new employers. It's just something that we all probably enjoy very much. Maybe some of us enjoy it more so than others. And it's really just about music. And I absolutely love music. And I've always enjoyed music from my earliest memories. I don't know about you, but when you think about where you were growing up and you start thinking about some of your memories, for me, I have memories of being a little kid, but really my full-time memories, like where I am able to remember everything moving forward, really kind of starts about 4th or 5th grade. And it's at this point in my life that I start really enjoying music. And I remember in 5th grade, I had just moved to a new area, and my friend was really into music as well. And the first album, CD, that I bought was from a band called REM. And I think it was a lot to do with my parents really liking the band. And I liked some of their songs. So I purchased that, and I also purchased an album by the band name, Savage Garden. And they had this song that was fast-paced, and the lyrics were fast. And I remember my friend and I would try to memorize the lyrics and see if we could sing along to the track, and just the joy that brought. And along with those CDs, it was about 5th grade when musical instruments were introduced. You know, they come in initially with the recorder, and everybody learns hot cross buns and a few others. And then once you've kind of transitioned from recorder, they bring in a music day where you can try out different instruments. And if you want to join band, you can, and you select an instrument. And this was going into my 6th grade year, but for whatever reason, I was drawn to the trombone. And so that was my instrument of choice. And I went with it, and I did, the classical band with just, the trombone, the trumpets, the clarinets, the oboes, the bassoons, your percussion, French horn, that kind of stuff. And I loved that, especially when we got to our 3rd or 4th quarter concert and we were able to play soundtracks from movies. And we got to play Jurassic Park. We got to play Mission Impossible. We got to play Jaws, that type of stuff. And it was also about this time that I was introduced to jazz band, and I got into jazz band. Concurrent with my band years, my CD collection, and my ability to burn CDs was growing as well. And my music taste was kind of all over the place. I liked the quote-unquote rock. I liked ska. I liked punk. Some may have called some of the music that I listened to emo. And those were kind of the scenes that I was into. And we started thinking about concerts and wanting to see some of these bands. And music was just a huge part of my life. And towards the end of my 7th grade year, heading into my 8th grade year, I joined a ska band of kids that were in jazz band mainly. Thought it would be a good idea to start a ska band. And I think that might have lasted about 2 rehearsals. We really only played jazz songs, even though we were a ska band, which, looking back on it, doesn't make a ton of sense. But it was fun. And then in my freshman year, somehow, and honestly, I don't remember how I got connected with these 2 guys, but we started a full-on kind of punk rock band. And my family loves to harass me on our name, so if you all are listening, our band name, to my family's delight, was Overhead. And we played a lot of cover of punk band songs and wrote a few of our own, which I could not even tell you a name of a song, let alone how it went. We did record a CD, and I think we ultimately had maybe 3 shows. We played at a high school party on Main Street. We played at a friend's house out in their backyard, and then we played 2 songs in a talent show in a neighboring city. And that was the extent of our band. And so we did this, and it was also at about this time that my friends and I, my sister, my brother, started really getting into concert going. And we loved going to shows. It wasn't like shows today where you go to a huge basketball arena and there are 50,000 people there. It was like, let's go to this basement place where 75 or 100 people might be, and there are 4 bands playing. It's super hot, everybody is scrunched in there. Some of the bands were well known, some of them weren't, and you just like literally hung out with the band once they were done while the other bands played. And this was just so much fun. And it was like the happy times, right? And it was just awesome. And then we got into college, and music became a huge part of my life, in large part due to my brother. And he had a wide genre of music that he liked. And it would include pretty much anything. He didn't really get into the country, but if it was outside of that, he would at least give it a try. And this expanded my genre into the rap category, because Alex loved to drive and he loved to listen to music. And if you could combine those two things, he was always down. And he loved to listen to his music loud, to the point where you could literally hear him coming from at least a mile away in some situations. And so there would be times where you would just go drive and we listened to music. And we kept going to concerts and we kept enjoying that. And I moved into adulthood and I still listened to music. But it wasn't until recently that I started listening to music as a way to cope with some of the stress that I was going through at work. And let me backtrack a little bit. Previously, I was a podcast listener, especially when I was driving to and from work. And I would do that for maybe 6 or 7 years. And then I got into this new role, and it gave me a lot of stress. And I found that when I would try to listen to podcasts, that my mind was fuzzy, it was clouded, and I couldn't concentrate, and my mood didn't improve. And so what I found was that when I was listening to music, I was able to decompress a little bit, and I was better able to cope with how things were going, and I was better able to deal with some of the feelings that I was encountering at my job, and especially when I was stressed. And it was only until recently that I had the question about, does music help with our overall mental well-being? Because as you can all probably attest, music is a universal language that moves across cultural boundaries, and it has long been celebrated for its impact on human emotions. When you hear a song, especially a special song to you, oftentimes you're transported back to a memory or a feeling that you once had. That you once had. And it's really remarkable that music has the ability to elicit joy, that it can calm you, and it can even be cathartic. But my question was, can music really have the power to improve one's mood and contribute to our overall well-being? And so tonight, I just want to talk about some of the therapeutic potential that music has. I want to examine why and how it can positively impact our emotional states, and if music has recommended frequency for listening, as well as if there are certain types of music that may offer optimal benefits of mental health. So let's talk a little bit more about the science behind music and our mood. And to my surprise, a lot of studies have been done that are aimed at studying whether or not music can improve or help our mood. And not only have many been done, but numerous studies have demonstrated that there is an undeniable connection between music and mood. And what those studies have shown is that when we listen to music, and specifically when we listen to music that resonates with our emotional state, our brain releases something called dopamine. And dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is associated with the feelings of pleasure and reward. But not only does music release dopamine, music can also activate something in our brain called the limbic system. And the limbic system is really responsible for our emotions. And when the limbic system is exposed to music, emotions leading to relaxation and excitement can occur. So music can have a positive impact on our brain, depending on the type of music that we listen to. So we know that music can help, but is there like a timing of how often or how much music that we should listen to? And really the frequency at which one should listen to music to improve your mood and well-being is going to vary from person to person. And when I read that in the studies, it made a lot of sense to me. One of the things about listening to music is that I can tell in my body if I'm starting to feel better. And so rather than having some guide of you need to listen to 45 minutes every other day of music, if you are wanting to improve your mood, turn on some music, and then I would just say that you should become in tune with your body's emotions and start to feel when you're getting into a better mood. And the other thing about this is that there's no negative side effect with listening to more music once your mood improves. It's not going to reverse and put you back into a bad mood. So music is a good thing. I would say that, some individuals may be able to find extra peace and relaxation in a daily dose of music, but others may just really enjoy music and listen to it all day long. Some may be able to have their music fix once or twice a week, and then they're able to fulfill their days with other things, podcasts, true crime, whatever it may be, audiobooks, that type of stuff. So it's just an added benefit. And so if you are feeling like it may be useful to you, listen to music. So the type of music that has the most significant impact on our mood and our well-being also depends on individual preferences. If you hate country music, then listening to country music is not going to put you in a better mood. Or if you have no interest in classical or opera or soundtracks, then obviously listening to those things are not going to bring you any release. So here are some basic genres and the potential effects, so that if you want to try it out, you can. Or if this is something that you're already listening to, you may now know more of the benefit. Number 1 is classical music. This is known for its calming and stress-reducing properties. Classical music, especially pieces with a slow tempo, can lower anxiety levels, and it also promotes relaxation. Upbeat and energetic music like pop, rock, and other high-energy genres can boost mood. They can also boost motivation. You'll put on a high-energy song when you're at the gym or something like that. This upbeat, energetic music has a fast tempo, and that can increase heart rate, and it can also stimulate positive emotions. There's also music that has genres that we might not necessarily think of, like nature sounds could be music, as well as instrumental music. So nature-inspired sounds or instrumental music can also help reduce stress. It can also help reduce anxiety because really this style of music is designed to create a sense of tranquility and mindfulness. And then the last one is just personal favorites. Ultimately, the music that improves mental well-being the most often is going to be one that is your favorite. When you put on those most familiar and beloved songs, it can invoke nostalgia, comfort, and happiness. One thing that I found has been fantastic is creating a playlist of all my favorite songs. When I have a tough day, I just go to my Spotify, I find that playlist, and then I jam out. And I will actually share my go-to playlist in the comments of the episode, so that if you want to pull up the playlist and listen to it, you can definitely do that. I would also love to hear what some of your favorite songs are, and maybe we could create our own stress-free pump-up mix together so that we can all hear what brings relaxation and comfort and happiness to each other. So if you'd like to partake in that, you can either comment below on what your favorite song is and who the artist is, or you can send me an email at Take10, that's TAKE, the number 1, the number 0, vlog, all one word, at gmail.com. Again, that's Take10vlog at gmail.com. The 10 is numerical. I'd be really curious to see what some of our favorite songs are, and I'd love to share that so that others could hear and benefit from it as well. Ultimately, music possesses the power to improve our mood. It also helps enhance our mental well-being. When we look at the science, it reveals that music affects our brain's reward system and our emotional centers, which lead to positive emotional responses. Again, the frequency of listening to music was going to vary from me to potentially you, but even short listening sessions provide benefit. When we're thinking about the choice of music that we listen to, the genre is subjective, but there are certain genres that are designed to help with certain feelings and emotions. But ultimately, when you're listening to music, I'd say listen to something that brings you a smile. Something upbeat, or maybe it takes you back to a time when you were younger, or a specific event in your life, or whatever it is. And what I love about this too is that it's something pretty simple, but it can have a pretty powerful effect on all of our lives. So I guess your homework for this week is to play music. And if anybody questions what you're doing, you can just tell them that it was my idea and that you're doing it for research purposes and to get happier. So enjoy your music, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, or whatever time you're listening to this at is. But ultimately, I hope that in all of the decisions that you are faced with every day, that you continue to choose to do, to be, and to inspire good in all that you do. Thank you for joining me tonight. I can't wait to see you next week. And we're going to cover another great topic. But be safe, be happy, be kind. We'll see you next time. All right, bye.